You're going to pry on the front of the cover or the side of the cover. Do not pry on this cover or on the back of the cover. So you'll pry here. Okay, and the cover comes off. The reason you don't want to pry on the back is because it has these tabs. So you can't pry from the back. You have to pry from this way. 50% power, 100% power. Kickstart. No kickstart. 24 volt. 36 volt. Carefully cut your zip ties off. Unplug your motor, battery. You can do a little wiggle. You can take your mode switch off too if you want to. Okay. Brake cutout. Blue and black is the brake cutout. Pink and red are the power switch. Black, orange, and green is the throttle. And there's controller. Okay, controller installation. You want to put the back of the controller in first, like such. I like to pull these two out of the way over in the front. Sometimes they get twisted around, so untwist them around. And these come over here. All the rest of the wires can go over here. Hold these wires up out of the way. Look down in there. If you replaced the battery, look down in there and make sure you're not smashing the charge wire. The charging port is going to tuck in there nicely. Okay, it's a bit stiff. The wires are a bit stiff because we use that shrink tube, but make sure it's down in there nicely and it's plugged in. Okay, it's going to tuck under the tube right there. And then go ahead and lay the controller in there just like that. You can start with the throttle wire. There's a little hole right here that you can tuck it in. The back end of this tucks right down in that hole. Just like that. Then you do your power wire. The power wire should come under in between the motor connector, because the motor connector is going to lay over like that. The power wire, the center, there's another hole. And the power wire tucks right down in that hole. We tuck that one right down in the center, just like that. If it doesn't go in, you don't have to force it in. You can just leave it like that. It really doesn't make a difference. Then you find your brake cutout. If your child is old enough to not worry about the brake cutout, you don't have to worry about it anymore, and you don't have to connect it. There's another little hole right on the other end, and that slides right down in there. When you're finished, you'll have 1, 2, 3. Throttle wire. Switch. And brake cutout. So they'll be tucked in there nicely. Once you connected your 3 wires and tucked them in, the brown, blue, and black is your 2436. If you have replaced your battery with a 36 volt, you need to plug in the 36 volt plug. Okay? It is marked on the white tube. Plug in for 36 volts. If you are opening this up for the first time and you want 100% power, here is your 50% power, and there's 100% power. This is kickstart and no kickstart. So we'll plug in our battery wire. That simply goes right there. Leave yourself a little hole right here. Now for the controller, there is a arrow on either side of the connector. There is also a line. That line needs to line up with this. Make sure you push really hard. Yes, sometimes it won't go, but trust me, that line will line up to the end of this. Push that controller plug inside like that. These wires are your mode wires. This wire here is 2436. If it is connected, it is 36 volt. If it is disconnected, it is 24 volts. So I know I have a 36 volt battery in here. I must connect it. This is speed limit or power limit. This is 50% power. This is 100% power. This is kickstart for 12-inch models. Sometimes you use it on a 16, very rarely. Okay, those stay disconnected if you want full power. Disconnected for full power, disconnected for no kickstart. Okay. Plug your switch back in. Now I'm going to turn on the bike and I'm going to double check it. Oops, it was on. Okay. 1 or 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm double checking my switch. is working properly. I'm in 100% mode. The back two tabs go into the holes. Be aware when you put the cover back on that you're not pinching wires. Leave a hole in the center right here, okay? Because this needs to go down in there. So tuck all them wires out of the way. Push on the tab right here and push down. Make sure you didn't pinch anything, okay? It'll be bulged up like that. Kind of have a look in there, make sure you're not pinching anything. Yep, I'm okay. My motor wire is pushing me up. That's okay. It's not going to damage anything. And that's it. You're done. On the older Thumpstar models, and actually, yeah, all old Thumpstar models, there was a screw here. If you have an old Thumpstar bike and you want to install this rock protector cover, this is to stop rocks from damaging this, you may do so. However, you're going to have to drill and tap these holes. If you're not familiar with drilling and tapping, forget it, because it's not very easy to do. All right?